A few years back, I found out there was a comic book store a half hour from my house. And the one I go to is 10 minutes from my house. It's about 70% tabletop games, 30% comics. I go there because it's close by. They give me everything I need that's new coming out, and they give me a tremendous discount. But this place, half hour from my house, much more to my liking. It's all comic books. I was only able to go there for about a year, and then the guy that runs the place said he was closing up shop. He's going to become a comic book grader. So they, like a month out from their closing date, they had a big 25% off sale of everything in the store. I went in when they opened on day one to get my pickings of everything I wanted, grabbed everything I could. That was it. They were gone for about 2 years. Then he reopened again. He's been open for about a year. I haven't gone back, and then he just announced he's going out of business again. This time he's retiring. I would bet any amount of money he's the same age as me, so he's way too young to retire. I was there for an hour today because it's a month before they close for a second time, and today was the launch of their 25% off everything in the store, going out of business sale again. And I went there, got my pickings through everything, and I overheard a lot of stories between him and his regulars, just like it did last time. So that's how I found out he wanted to go into comic book grading. This time I find out that, well, he's still going to be working. Of course, he's too young to, I mean, I don't know. How do you retire when it's your own business? You're not pulling a retirement. You're just basically closing up shop again. And if you're still going to be working, you're just changing jobs. Whatever it is, that's it. I want to show you what I got today. So I did not want to spend a lot of money, and I didn't. Okay, he had DC Comics The Shadow issue 1. I already have that. So I got issues 2, 3, and 4 from him. $2.99 a piece, 25% off. What's that? $1.25. So that means $1.75 a piece. Now, I showed you 2 weeks ago, I went to Charlie's Comic Con. I got a bunch of Marvel Age comics that I didn't have for $1 a piece. Here's one, Secret Wars. You know, I have everything for Secret Wars, so I wanted to get this one. Another one would cost me about $1.75. Didn't know what this was, just looked cool. Stalker, issue 1, some old comic. $3.99 minus 25%. I grabbed this, it just looked hilarious. Stumbo the Giant from Harvey Hits. Another $3.99, 25% off. Okay, then he had these from Kamiko, the 4-issue miniseries of Star Blazers. He had issues 1, 2, and 4, so I'm going to need to get issue 3. $2.99, $2.99, you know, minus 25%. Issue 1 was $6.99, okay? Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter, issue 1, $8.99 minus 25%. Coming of Dragon. I may actually already have this. I don't know. Okay, this thing. The Super Cops from Red Circle Comics Group, issue 1. Look how funky this is. You got the pimp, very 70s, right? Mustaches. These guys have like Batman t-shirts. I don't know what this is, but I wanted it. $11.99 minus 25%. Okay, again, Charlie's Comic Con. They had DC Strange Sports, issue 2, which looked really cool. So this was $15.99 minus 25%, but it was issue 1, and it doesn't look as cool as issue 2, but it was issue 1, a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but hey, just added it to the collection, okay? Now, I also showed that I got all of those Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, and the oldest one I got was from the same month of my oldest Amazing Spider-Man comic, which is my oldest Marvel comic from 1965. Well, he had an even older one. This is issue 10, so that one I'm talking about was issue 24. Cost me $3. This is $15.99 minus 25%, so you take $4 off. So you're talking $11.99. This is from 1964, so this is my first Marvel comic from 1964. This is my new oldest Marvel comic. Okay, and here's the expensive comic I got today. Look, it's The Phantom, issue 1 from Gold Key Comics with this amazing painted cover by George Wilson. I just was not going to be able to live with myself if I went home and left this there. To actually see this comic in the wild, in a store, not at like a convention up on a wall or whatever. Yes, $39.99 minus 25%. So you're talking $30. And look, it's got this hard, clear plastic. I don't know what this is. It's pretty neat, though. But, all right, get off my back. I needed it. That's it for the single issue comics. Then he had a bunch of dollar bins, and I didn't get any comics in the dollar bins. I got all his Mad magazines that I didn't already have. I just made sure they were all from prior to 1990. So, let's see. We started in 1972. We got 154, 168, 171, 173, 183, 184, 207, 219, 222, 224, 225. Look, the Popeye movie. A lot of you guys didn't watch my Popeye video from a couple days ago. You gotta watch my Popeye video. Come on, guys. It's a great video. It's only like 6 minutes long. It's the entire history. I got everything for Popeye, okay? And if you didn't watch my Mad Magazine video from a few weeks ago, watch that. I've got a whole box full of Mad magazines and Crack magazine. Anyways, let's keep going. 229, 240. And now we get into the specials. Special number 8, Super Special 11, Special Annual 12, Super Special 13, Super Special 16, Special 22, Special 24, Super Special Summer 1980, Super Special Winter 1980, Super Special Fall 1981, Super Special Winter 1981, Super Special Spring 1982, Super Special Summer 1982, Super Special Fall 1982. Look, Frank Frazetta. You're saying Ringo. Yeah, painted by Frank Frazetta. This is the painting that actually launched Frank Frazetta's painting career and got him out of doing a ghosting of Al Cap comic strips. Super Special Spring of 83, Super Special Winter of 83, Super Special Fall of 84. And see, they're all $1 a piece, minus 25%. So you're talking 75 cents a piece. And these are all issues I didn't have. And I got a bunch. So now I got a whole bunch more. Now check this out. The Cartoon History of the Universe, volumes 1 through 7. $6.99 minus 25%. And look at this. Volumes 8 through 13, $5.99 minus 25%. Cool, huh? From the Big Bang to Alexander the Great, from Springtime of China to the Fall of Rome. These are all by Larry Gronick. And then, here we go. I got myself a Marvel Omnibus. Look, it's in the shrink wrap. This comic ran 15 issues. It started out called Amazing Adventures. It changed its name to Amazing Adult Fantasy. And the final issue was just called Amazing Fantasy. The final issue had a story in it. They're anthologies, so they have a bunch of stories per issue, but one of the stories in the final issue was the first appearance of Spider-Man. First appearance and origin of Spider-Man. Amazing Fantasy issue 15 is just one of the stories in that issue. This is the entire run of the entire series. So all of these predate Spider-Man, right? Marvel Comics, they are monster books. Okay, Marvel was printing in the late 50s to early 60s horror books and monster books. Prior to that, they were doing westerns and romance. And prior to that was the 40s, and they were doing superheroes. So this is that little in-between time. One last book. Superman The Dailies. 1939 to 1942. So these are all of the original newspaper comic strips of Superman from when it launched for the first 4 years, okay? And then he gave me this box to put everything in. This short box. Oh, forgot. I also got this. A vintage Star Wars trading card. It's $1.50 minus 25%. He just gave it to me for free. I picked it out because, look, imagine you go see this movie in 1977 like I did. And you come out of there and you go and you get your bubblegum cards. And what is this? Luke Skywalker with Gilligan's hat and a little droid out in the desert. This was not in the movie. What's this from? And who knows how long it would have taken for you to find out that this is from a deleted scene. Back in 1977, how do you find that info out? So I like this because this is the original introduction to the main character, and it was deleted. They changed the narrative of the story. They wanted the droids to be introduced first, and then they bring you to Luke, and then Luke brings you to Obi-Wan, and and Obi-Wan brings you to Han and Chewie, and then they bring you to Leia. Every character brings you to the next one. It matches the storyline of the Hidden Fortress from Kurosawa. And look, George Lucas's friends said, you need to introduce your main character right from the get-go. So we made this scene. This is where Luke is looking up into space through his macro binoculars and watching that space battle of the opening of Star Wars with the big Star Destroyer going overhead and Princess Leia's ship getting tractor beamed up in it, and then you meet C-3PO and R2-D2. Well, Luke was down on the surface of Tatooine watching them, and then he went off to Anchorhead, to Tashi Station, and ran into Biggs Darklighter, and him and Biggs and Fixer and Cammy, they all went outside to go look up at see what Luke was looking at. And here's his Treadwell droid, and off to the side is the land speeder. This was the original opening. So, okay, enough of that, jeez. So, all of this together, total price, $218.74. I spend about $250 on average every month at my comic store for all the new comics and new publications I get. So this is $218.74 for this going out of business sale for the second closing of Hero Trader. And I feel pretty good about it. I feel good about what I got. It's sad to see these businesses go out of business. I've been going to comic book stores since the 80s. I have watched a lot of stores go out of business. But there you go. And so the name of the comic store I go to every Tuesday that's by my house is called Cool Comics and Games. Tomorrow, I'm going to Tampa to see Mike Tyson. Having a little bit of fear because, not because of going to meet Mike Tyson, but because the last time I went to Tampa to kind of this same location was 2 months ago. I went to go see a movie premiere that I was in. I was the star in this short film, and they put me in the wrong theater. And I sat there for 2 hours watching other people's short films, and I came out and ran into the director, and he was like, "Where were you? You missed the whole thing." And now looking at the place I have to go find Mike Tyson at, it's giving me flashbacks. Am I going to be able to find him? Everything's prepaid. He's only going to be there for like 2 hours. Am I going to be running around the parking lot of this mall / theater / complex looking for the right place? I mean, I went to meet Mike Tyson once before. It was pre-COVID. The last time they had MegaCon before the pandemic shut everything down. And I went specifically to see Mike Tyson, and I drove 3 hours there, and on my 3-hour drive, while I'm listening to music, not a care in the world, I didn't know it, but Mike Tyson canceled and didn't fly in. And I got there and I walked in the building and I beelined right to where he was supposed to be. And they said, no, he canceled. He's not going to be here. And then I went back to my car and I drove 3 hours home again. And that was 5 years ago. So, fingers and toes crossed. I can pull this off tomorrow. I still have my Mike Tyson's Punch-Out cartridge that I was going to get signed 5 years ago. And we'll see how it goes. But anyways, that's all I got for right now. I'll talk to you later.